A forest scene can have thousands of leaves, branches, rocks, roots, and reflections. But here is the trick. You do not need to paint all of them. You just need enough information for the viewer to believe they are there. For this painting, I'm starting with the big shapes, then slowly choosing which details actually deserve attention. Before I get too far into the painting, I need a clear path for the eye. I want the darker foreground to pull you into the scene. Then the stream should carry you deeper into the woods, all the way toward that bright opening in the distance. That small area of light is doing a lot of work. Everything around it needs to help it stand out. I'm beginning with the largest shapes in the scene. The bright background, the darker forest around it, the main tree trunks, the stream cutting through the middle. Nothing is finished, and it is definitely not pretty yet. That is normal. This stage is about getting the basic structure in place. If the large shapes feel right, I can build on them. If they feel wrong, adding detail will only make the problem harder to fix. Now I'm starting to separate the different layers of the forest. The distant trees stay lighter and softer. They do not need sharp edges or much detail. As things move closer, the values get darker, the shapes become clearer, and the contrast gets stronger. Those changes are small, but together they create distance. You do not need to outline every tree to show that one is closer than another. A simple shift in value can do most of that work. At this point, I'm adding more of the foliage around the opening. I'm still not painting individual leaves. I'm thinking in groups. A dark cluster here, a lighter break there. A few small gaps where the sky or distant light can come through. If every leaf had its own clear shape, the canopy would become busy really fast. Grouping them keeps the scene full, but still easy to read. The darker shapes around the opening are important because they make the light feel brighter. Light needs something dark beside it. So rather than making the background brighter and brighter, I can strengthen the shadows around it. That creates more contrast without making the color look unnatural. I'm also being careful not to close the opening completely. It needs enough space to breathe. Now the stream is starting to take a clearer shape. I do not want it to look like one smooth, bright stripe running through the painting. Natural water changes direction. It gets hidden by rocks, banks, roots, and shadows. So I'm breaking the edges apart and letting sections disappear. That makes the stream feel like it belongs in the landscape instead of sitting on top of it. The reflections are built with mostly horizontal marks. Some are longer and smoother, others are short and broken. That change in length helps suggest movement across the surface. I'm also pulling colors from the surrounding trees and sky. Water rarely has one color of its own. It reflects whatever is around it. The darker marks help connect it to the forest, while the lighter ones show where the sky and sunlight are reaching the surface. The rocks give the water something to move around. They also break up the stream so it does not become too straight or predictable. I'm keeping their shapes simple at first. A darker base, a lighter plane, and a few lost edges are usually enough. Not every rock needs to be fully explained. Some can disappear into the water or the shadow along the bank. That actually makes the scene feel more natural. The large tree in the foreground carries a lot of weight in this composition. Because it is so close, it needs more form and stronger contrast than the trees in the distance. I'm separating the lighter side of the trunk from the shadow side, then adding a few small color shifts. The goal is not to cover it with bark lines. I want it to feel round and solid first. Texture only works after the form is already there. The roots help connect the tree to the ground. Without them, the trunk could look like it is just sitting on the surface. I'm looking for a few strong directions instead of drawing every route I can see. Some edges stay clear, while others fade into the dirt, moss, and shadows. That mix of clear and soft edges helps everything feel connected. The forest floor has a lot going on, but I do not need to explain all of it. A few broken marks can suggest leaves, dirt, stones, or patches of moss. Small highlights can catch the tops of roots or damp areas near the stream. The darker gaps are just as useful. They create little pockets of shadow and give the lighter marks something to sit against. The viewer will fill in a lot of these details on their own. This is the stage where it is easy to start adding detail everywhere. I try not to. Detail works best when some areas have more of it and other areas stay quiet. I'm saving the clearest marks for the foreground tree, the nearby rocks, and parts of the stream. The distant areas stay softer. That difference helps control where the viewer looks and keeps the whole painting from feeling equally sharp. Every so often, I stop thinking about individual objects and look at the painting as a whole. Does the foreground pull me in? Does the stream lead toward the distance? Is the bright opening still the main destination? If another area starts demanding too much attention, I can soften an edge, darken a value, or remove a highlight. Sometimes improving a painting is not about adding more. It is about making one area quieter. The last highlights are small, but they can change the scene quickly. A brighter reflection can make the water feel wet. A narrow edge of light can turn a flat trunk into a solid form. A tiny gap in the foliage can bring a little air back into the canopy. These marks are easy to overdo, so I'm placing them slowly. They need to support the light and the path through the painting, not compete with them. And this is the finished painting. It started with a few simple shapes. Then I built the depth, the light, the water, and finally the smaller details. You do not have to paint everything you see. You just need to give the viewer the right clues. Follow along to see more paintings develop from the first block in to the final details.